written from a Christian perspective. And it's an older book, but this is along exactly the lines that David's talking about. So he's talking about really having crystal clarity of a vision of what he's moving towards and what he wants to create, and really painting that out in detail and knowing what that is. So the book is The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity by Catherine Ponder. It was like written in the 80s. So yeah, some of the languaging, some of the examples, I think she's a pastor or something. So it's kind of more Christian based, but it's really powerful stuff. And it's good so far.
Can you say the name one more time, Jonathan?
Yeah, it's the Dynamic Laws of Prosperity. It's good stuff. I like how she's simplifying some of the deeper concepts. She kind of, like, you can tell it's older. She'll go into like lots of stories about like it worked for this person and it worked for that person. But that book, and then if you guys haven't read Your Faith is Your Fortune by Goddard, that's also a really powerful book on that topic, which that is in PDF, and I can send that to you guys. I'll put it in the group. That was written like even farther back, so that's like feels like old English sometimes when you're reading it, but it's really powerful stuff. So awesome. How's everyone doing? How was the group? It's like some intense energy was moved.
Heck yeah.
Or maybe it's still being carried.
Yeah, carried. It's quiet.
So, how can I serve you guys? Courtney, I'm noticing like you're definitely in it a bit. Valerie. I don't know you very well, Valerie, but I'm excited. I'm excited to get to know you.
These are hard. When I put on the spot, I never know what I actually want. I'm like, I don't know. Why did you ask? I knew until somebody asked me.
Sweet. So close your eyes. Let's do this. Close your eyes. It's okay if there's like silence. The answers are almost always in the silence. So don't feel the pressure to like, oh, I gotta answer. And then breathe. And then just speak the truth about what you're feeling. That's a great place to start.
I don't know. I'm going to have to come back to this. I need to think.
Awesome. So I'm feeling a little bit of sadness. And I'm feeling a little bit of fear. And I'm pretty relaxed. And I got a little bit of joy going on too down there, actually. It's nice to find that. So we can all set like some intentions and be like, we got another 40 minutes if we want. Got another 40 minutes to like rock this and have a lot of fun and really take some steps forward. We can set those type of intentions. We can set intentions to connect. We can set intentions to shift. So like really shift into some massive appreciation. We can set intentions to like kind of share like what we really appreciate about ourselves. We can do that. So I'm going to make a decision in like probably 30 seconds which way we're going to go. But if someone has like, okay, this is like fucking me over right now, I'd love to get some more breakthrough around this, but I don't really know how to say it or what to call it, but let's just start talking, then we can definitely do that too. So I'm going to give 30 seconds for that. And if that doesn't come up for anyone, then we'll move on to something else.
So I'm not getting anything where I need help breaking through something, but I do have something that I want to say. So I'm noticing that from the ending, well, the whole thing of what David did, but from the ending of it, where he was like, what do you want? What are your desires? And how can you bring that into your body and where you are now? And just like, I don't know where it's going to come from. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I feel like this intense building of epicness, like whatever it is, it's going to be fucking epic. And I'm really stoked on that. And I know epic doesn't mean a particular emotion either. And it can be all of them probably, but that's what I feel. And I'm really excited about it because I haven't felt that way for a long time. So that's all.
Thank you so much for sharing. I've definitely been carrying that feeling like the last 2 weeks in my life as well. So I really thank you for speaking to that.
Well, and thank you for sharing that today on the call because I picked it up.
Anyone else have something they want to share?
I'm just called just to share like gratitude. Like, really, guys, I just love you guys all so much. And like being able to come here, I'm like, oh, I'm struggling with this. I'm so frustrated. And then just having people like, cool, awesome, like look at this, like, because I've definitely been feeling like that feeling you guys are talking about, like, oh, there's something epic coming. But I was so mad at God, I wouldn't even let myself feel it. So I'm like, Jonathan's like, look at this. Like, I love having being able to come and have people that are just like so honest and so real. And they're like, cool, like, hey, look at this. Like, they're willing to call you on your shit. Like, what comes up? Like, look at this. Not just like, you know? Sometimes when I talk to people, they're like, oh, yeah, it sucks. So I'm like, oh, I'll go there with you, know? But having people, like, I'm just grateful for you guys. So just wanted to share my appreciation and gratitude for all y'all. Because I love you.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, the like just to piggyback on what Michelle was saying, like the power of like we are the ones that get in our way so much of the time, and one of the best ways to get around that is just like telling the truth about our experience. And when we tell the truth about our experience and open ourselves up for like feedback around that, like I don't know how many times I've opened myself for feedback, and like 85% of the feedback was just like, well, that's not right. No. But then that 10% got me to the next step. So just that continual, like having a community, having a tribe where we can just be like, hey, this is my experience and I don't know what it means, but this is what is going on. And someone's just like, well, what about this? And it's like, oh yeah, okay, sweet. I got the next step. I got the next stepping stone across the lake. So huge thanks for speaking to that, Michelle. David's driving. He's on a mission in the family limousine.
Let's get down to business. I don't got no time to play around. What is it?
I have a question about something that you said. Can you speak a little bit more? Like you said, like there's something about being honest where you're at that it helps you move through. Can you tell why is that? What is like? Because that totally that point right there just kind of pinged something in me. Like I noticed that the last couple of weeks when I was being really honest with about some weird stuff that was coming out. What is it about it? Like just being honest and not like shying back from that. Like, how do you do that?
Super quiet, Michelle.
Yeah, so you broke You broke up a little bit, Michelle, on the question. So I'm going to rephrase the question, and I want you to just let me know if I have it. Are you asking why is it important to get honest about where you're at?
Yeah, what is it that does? Like, because I noticed for me this last little bit, like, I struggled with an eating disorder for like 15 years. And the last 2 weeks when I was doing a cleanse, like, I noticed that was coming up. And the second I got honest about it, because before massive shame was coming, like, I was so shameful. I'm like, no, I can handle this. But the second I got honest about it, like, literally 90% of it went away. Like, what is it about getting honest that literally just like moved it right out of the way?
It's huge. Getting honest about something. So one of the pictures that I always use is like, you can't, like, if you look at your GPS and you're like, okay, I want to get to New York City. Like, there's two things you have to put in your GPS: where you want to go, which is what David was talking about earlier, and the truth about where you're at. Like, your GPS needs to know where you're currently at. So if you're putting into your GPS, like, I'm in Kansas City, but you're really in like freaking Las Vegas, then you're not actually you're going to start following the instructions, turn left, turn right, and you're not going to end up in New York City. So telling the truth about where you're at is like always like one of the first steps. And this is where like we all, like, I do a horrible job of telling myself the truth about where I'm at, because we always have that second brain, the analytical second brain that's always measuring itself and always thinking about the future, thinking about the past instead of being in the present. That's just working on overdrive. And it serves us sometimes, but like what it does, it doesn't really serve us for telling us the truth about where we're at. We tend to go between, I'm fucking awesome to I'm a fucking loser. We like navigate, like we go like massive pride, massive guilt and shame is kind of where the pendulum that piece of us plays on. And so the power of like people telling us our greatness and the power of people telling us and calling us on our bullshit is huge, because it helps us see the truth of like, oh, I'm actually in Vegas, not in Kansas City. So my next step isn't what I thought it was. My next step is this over here. So that's the first layer. The deeper layer, and like even the story of like what you shared, what happened with you, telling the truth automatically brings stuff to the light. And when stuff is brought to the light, it allows us to love. We can't bring love to something that we're not telling the truth about. So especially if it's something that we feel isn't worthy of love, or something that we're ashamed of, or something like that, often our mind will protect us. Like, parts of our brain is like, hey, we don't want to bring that up because then we'll feel sad, or we don't want to bring that up because then we'll feel angry, or I'll be mad at God. And like, what the fuck? I can't be mad at God. Like, that's not the right thing to do. I can't be a heathen or whatever. So whatever stories. And so parts of our brain is working to protect us from feeling those things. But as soon as we just like tell the truth of like, hey, God, I'm really pissed. I feel like you betrayed me. And when we actually get into that place and tell the truth, then suddenly, like, it's not hiding anymore. It's not hiding behind the stories. It's not hiding behind the stuff. It's just like, boom, okay, here it is. And then from that place, then we can actually fully love it, because it's in the light. Like telling the truth, like even just speaking the truth, like maybe this isn't even true, Michelle, but you sharing what you shared with us about like the cleanse and about like your battle with the eating disorder and stuff, just you sharing that, you released that guilt and shame even a little bit more, because you brought it to the light on a newer level. And as soon as like even you speaking it out in a group, it's like, whew, wow, that's demonstration of like you bringing love to it. That's demonstration of you like, hey, like this is me and I'm fucking awesome. And this is my process. And so telling the truth is so powerful, because it helps us, like, we're not going to get to where we want to go if we're screwing up our GPS. But the second layer is it brings stuff to the light. And when stuff is brought to the light, that's like when we can love those parts of us that we're not loving yet. Does that answer your question? Any other questions around that from anybody?
No, I think that was beautifully well put, though.
Thank you.
I love the analogy of, because we often use the GPS analogy, but it's so much more impactful when you're like, oh, you're saying I want to go from here to here, but you're telling somebody you're over here and you want to go here. And so I just love that analogy. It hits home.
Good.
I think it also too, like for me, it's like really, that's another part of me loving all of myself. Because I think sometimes I talk about it, but then I'm like, oh wait, but this one came up. Just kidding, not that one, not that one, not that one, not that one. And so, because everything you said, I've experienced that I've said that, but realizing that, yeah, the more that I let it out and the more that I bring light to it, just by speaking it, I bring love to it. Because I was having a really hard time loving it when it was in my shadow. I'm like, no, don't tell anybody. I'll love you right here, but no one can see you. Child, no one can see you. Hide them in the closet. So, makes a lot of sense.
Can I say something? Is that okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Anyone can speak whenever they want to speak.
Okay. I'm new. Michelle, that when you saying that just triggered something that I had been thinking today, that some of my sadness was about today, and that I had been thinking about this week. Is just that after I watched Amanda's birthday video about not taking care of my body, like I'm 41 years old and I'm pretty healthy, but there's a lot I could have done a lot better, and I'm sad for the ways that I don't take care of myself. And I have been like eating my feelings lately. I have been massively binging on sugar, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is I'm trying to not feel. But and then I just am like self-loathing. I'm like, why did I just eat a pile of graham crackers and chocolate frosting? I hate myself. But yeah, so I would love to have a conversation with you sometime about that, about your experience.
I would love to. I actually just right before I got on this call made a video, like speaking to what you just said. I was like, cool, how do I get to be seen even more? So I made a Facebook Live about it. But I would love to have a conversation with you because this is one I've dived massively, massively into. So.
Because I always think I don't have shame about this. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't have shame about this or that. And then I'm like, oh, I so do. I just really, really am good at pretending like I don't.
There too.
I can talk about this. I'm good with it.
Well,
I love my body, always.
One thing that's interesting for me too is like I feel like the cycle when I'd get into it, like I'd feel terrible like if it's about my body or something, then I'd eat. And then I'd feel terrible about eating, so I'd eat, so I didn't feel terrible about that. And it was like a cycle that just like went over and over and over and over again. So I feel you.
Thank you.
One thing that's really served me in that area, not that I am a master at it, but remembering to take a couple of breaths and check into the now. Because often when I find myself, because I eat to cover emotion as well, like a massive history of it. Love sugar. Part of me loves sugar. Almost everything when we're running from something, it's normally emotion combined with some type of thought process that we may have not identified. We may just know the emotion, but often it's linked into a subconscious thought process or a thought process. And those thought processes are almost always located when perceiving past or worrying about the future. So the past is imagined. Like even like detectives, they know, like if they get a witness for a crime, you know, half the stuff the witness says is like almost always, like it's very common that the witness will make stuff up because of the way they remember it. They add things to their memory. They take things from their memory depending on their emotional state when they're remembering. It's like really, so you could set up a video camera of a crime and then the witness could say, hey, yeah, he was wearing a red cap and blah, 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 blah. And they would watch the video camera and the guy wasn't wearing a cap. Like this is like very common. So the point here is that even our memories is that they're imagined. Their degree of perception, they're filtered through, they're distorted through us. And then the future is obviously imagined. And so part of getting into the now and tuning in and just breathing a few breaths and checking in with your body in the now and just identifying, okay, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm afraid, or whatever it might be, and just bringing it into the now can sometimes cut some of that. I mean, at least for me, it helps like to kind of like, oh, okay, reset. Because it's really easy for me to get stuck in the past or stuck in like, oh, what's going to happen? So hope that helps.
It does. Thank you. Yeah, I have some experience with that. And sometimes I'm even go to the point where I'm like, no, I'm going to avoid getting present because then I don't get to do what I want. It's bad.
Love it. What's next? Cool. Oh, someone's unmuted. What's up?
I'm unmuted, but it's making noise. But I don't know if you can hear me because it keeps.
I can hear you.
Oh, snap. Well, I have one last note before I leave that I would love to share. That is, I was having a very vivid memory last night of the initiation, and just how much it keeps showing up in my life, how much I really respect the feminine and the women today. Freaking love that they show up in our space, because we sure might be an angry, ornery cuss of a man. We didn't have something beautiful to come step in our space as often as they do. And just as a reminder for me, just my appreciation to women for showing up in our space, because they don't have to. That was something that stuck to me big through the initiation. It's just that women carry such a beautiful space of the feminine. And not ever once do they have to be in your space. They choose to be in your space. And I guess really you could extend that to anyone, but I really have a lot of appreciation for feminine throughout most of my life. I just didn't realize that I always assumed they had to be in my space. So anyways, just to recap, so especially to all you ladies on this call, I super appreciate you taking the time to be here today, to be in this space, to bring everything that you bring. And I appreciate everyone for being on the call, but I do have special thanks for women today.
Thank you so much for sharing that, David.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so kind of what I'm feeling in, I think it would be amazing to go around and tell everyone 3 things that you appreciate about yourself in this season. How does that sound to everybody before we head out?
Oh, I'm down.
Is everyone in? Thumbs up? Okay, awesome. There it is. Getting hydrated.
Okay, I'll go first. 3 things I appreciate about me. I always give up my best. I mean, I don't give up quickly. I'm so damn determined to figure shit out that I'll stay with it probably too long, but maybe not. I have a kind heart.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a good mom.
How about you say I am a good mom?
I am a good mom.
Doesn't that feel more true? Can tell with that smile. Thank you. David, I know you gotta go soon. You wanna go next?
Yeah, I'm just driving. But yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'll throw it out there. No problem. I am a good dad. I'm a good friend, and I'm funny. I like my humor.
I like your humor too.
Yes, I do. All right.
You are a good friend. Thank you.
Booyah. Next in line.
I'll go.
Oops.
Go ahead. You go.
Ladies first.
Damn right.
I love about myself that I, like, no matter how many times I get knocked down, I'm going to keep standing up and I'm going to keep moving into it. And I love how now, instead of trying to figure out how to push through that, I'm like willing to step back and find an easier, more loving way to be with myself. So I also appreciate that I'm like learning to step into the spot of really loving and honoring myself instead of like beating myself up. Like that is massive, massive win for me. I also love about myself, like I'm really fun to be with. Like I'm fun. I have a lot of fun energy. So I love, you know, laughing lots and making situations super fun. The other thing that I love about myself is that I'm really creative and I have awesome ideas. And it's fun to be able to take those ideas and be able to see them come to fruition. That's about me.
Booyah. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. So 3 things that I really love and appreciate about me. My levels of integrity, which have come very far over the years. And I have no doubt there's room for improvement and expansion, but that's something that I love. Second thing, I love my commitment to bettering myself, my own personal health, and just, you know, taking myself to extremes really brings me joy. And I fucking love that aspect of me. Third thing, which has been, I don't want to say silenced, but not really supported in quite a while, is my artistic and creative side. I've always loved that, and it's just now again beginning to sprout. And you know, there's some ideas on what that's going to look like, but I don't really know, and it's okay. That's, you know, that's the journey of being creative and artistic. You don't know. You kind of create on the whim, but I love that too.
Thank you, brother.
Man, thank you.
Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have to leave here in a second. Okay, 3 things I love about myself. First, I have an incredibly courageous heart and resilient spirit, and that's something that I have known about myself since I was really, really young. And I really, really love that about myself a lot. So I have the courage to do hard things, even when I'm really scared. So my second thing is that I love learning. I'm a seeker, and I love being a student of the universe. And I love that I love knowledge and just that process of learning and being in wonderment. I love being in that space, and I love that about myself. And 3, I'm going to go with the same thing Michelle said. I'm a really fun friend, and I feel like I'm really fun to hang out with and be around. And I'm really funny sometimes too, so I love that too.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I have to go.
Have a good one.
I'll go. Okay, 3 things. So I had to write them down because I would forget. So my determination, when I want something, really want something, I get it. And that's because I am determined and I set intention and it happens. And I love that. My ability to see from other people's perspectives. Once I set aside my own stubbornness, I am really capable of feeling what it is that they're needing and expressing. And then something that I've been telling myself is bad. I love how big I love, how fully I am capable of loving, and how much I give.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
All right, I will go. Okay, so the first thing is I love that I am finally willing to take care of me and put me first. And I just signed up for CrossFit. Super excited about it.
Yeah.
And I love that I am committed to unconditional love, even when it's really hard sometimes, and even when there's people in my life that sometimes it's hard to love unconditionally, and I really just want to be like, but I return to love anyways. And let's see the other thing. I need to do what Jolie said. I am a good mother to my children. Okay, Jonathan, you're up.
Thank you. Me. Okay, I'm just gonna go off the fly, checking in. I love my desire to carry all the different pieces, like to the balance between family and work, and the balance between being a father and carrying vision and building something business-wise. I love that with me. I love my strategic thinking, and I love my intuition. And how at times, I love how much I can trust my intuition. That's me right now. I definitely love all of you guys. Thank you for showing up. You guys got this week. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is.
Booyah!
Jonathan, thank you for sharing your epicness with us. I definitely
Pleasure.
look for intuition. I'm like, yes, I appreciate that too.
You're welcome. All right. Go forth and prosper, or live long and prosper. What is it? I'm not even a Trekkie, but yeah, I love.
And I'm like, yeah, guys, go do that. Go do that.
Oh, Aaron.
This one.
Yeah. Aaron, is there an open loop with us, Aaron? Did you reach? I'm trying. Like, didn't you reach out and you're going to send me something out, or am I think? Is it someone else? Am I going crazy?
No, that's me.
Okay.
Either tonight or tomorrow.
Cool. I'm doing. Yeah, send it to me. I see what I can. Yeah, I'm doing a big launch next week. So next week I'm going to be pretty slammed probably, but get it over to me and I'll look it over and do a video or something and kick it back.
Awesome, brother. Thank you.
My pleasure. Love and appreciate you all.